Yo, welcome back, Gainesville. What's going on, man? I have the big homie in the building, man, right now. Like I just mentioned before, Mr. Armando Grundy-Gomes. Hopefully I can call you Mondo, right?
You call me Mondo.
That's what's up,
My
man.
friends call me that.
Cool. Well, hey, consider me a friend, man.
Absolutely.
So, hey, first, I want to thank you for appearing, man, for coming on. You know what I mean? Just for showing up, and then I'm gonna let you fill the people in, but you're involved with a lot of different things locally. You've let's say you lived a storied life, man. So
I'll let you share that one.
Right. Well, okay. Well, I guess I'll do introductions then, man. Now we got for the people that don't know, we have Mr. Armando Grundy-Gomes, who's Gainesville native. I know you're from Jacksonville, but you've been here a while.
I'm here. I'm originally from Jacksonville, by way of some other places.
Shout out to the Bangor, man. But I mean, another thing I wanted to thank you for, man, and as well as a few of your Facebook viewers as well, man, is your service to the country. I mean, I don't know how long you put in.
I did eight years.
Wow, that's
8 years.
What's up, man?
And
E6, E7.
Well, no. I was just a lonely little E4.
Hey, but you still put that.
But
time in,
yes. And I'm better for it.
That's what's up, man.
You don't get a lot of that, especially amongst people that look like you and me,
right,
where they're appreciative. But one thing I can say about black and brown people, when anybody wants to question who's patriotic in this country, let's talk about the facts and the numbers. Black and brown people, and you just met one of my buddies that served in 82nd Airborne, Juan Carlos Fontanes. I'm going to shout out to Juan Carlos Fontanes. I will say his name, I can say it in Spanish too, but
please do.
I just want to say that's my brother. He was my brother that served with me in arms and 82nd Airborne,
nice.
307th Engineer Battalion, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Yeah. And I will tell you, we are the most patriotic group of people in spite of people. So whenever you hear people talking about making America great again or who's helped make America great, we've done that.
Yeah.
They won't get credit for it, but we have.
Yeah. Christmas addicts, man. First guy ever to die for this country was a black person, man. American Revolution. I want to talk to you later once we get into some local issues. I'll definitely want to have you illustrate how being in the service, how that readies you for this local fight that we're in. Because I'm sure that you learned a whole lot there that you use to this day. But I mean, like I said, we'll get to that.
My
later.
life overall has prepared me for it.
That's real.
And I apologize. Actually, I want to apologize to you as the host because you were introducing, and I corrected you. Please finish though. I mean,
we got all day, man.
Okay.
Now, you were like I said, you were in the service.
Yes, sir.
82nd Airborne, Fort Bragg. Shout out to Vietnam too, man. I never get to say that.
I'll let you shout them
out. All right. And then I know you end up working in venture capitalism, capital leasing, finance, marketing, advertising. Still work. Currently in school right now, bro. What do you got? When do you?
I am a busy.
I was gonna say, when do you?
When I tell you, look, and real talk, like seriously, I remember last year. It's kind of like I hadn't had a vacation in 7 years. I was just sharing with you. I saw JC. I saw Fontanes. Juan. I'm gonna say Juan. I'm not gonna call him.
Right.
I hate being called by my last name. So listen, when you don't take a vacation for 7 years, we all sometimes just need a break, right? And I took some time off. I had only planned, Jerk, to be gone a month.
Wow.
Right? But it was just kind of like, I want to get away. And everything that I ever wanted to do on my bucket list, and I'm going to share that a little bit if you don't mind. And about I got to do. And if you never get to travel,
that's fulfilling.
It's important. Jerk, you and I might remember because we're in that same age bracket, millennials. Mm-hmm. You remember the movie The Goonies?
I do remember The Goonies.
I have always wanted to go there. That town, which is actually called Astoria, Oregon.
Really?
And some other things that were in that movie. You ever seen the movie Kindergarten Cop?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that school is in Astoria. You ever seen the movie Short Circuit? Johnny Five is alive.
Wow, that's throwback.
That was filmed there. Free Willy, remember Free Willy? That was filmed there. So listen, I always.
Wow, what's the significance with that time? I never heard of it.
Well, number one, The Goonies is what really kicked it off. I always wanted to go. Since I was 5 years old, I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
I said, And my mom recalls.
Get the leeches on your skin.
Yeah, I wanted to just go there. I looked at the time, and that's a beautiful spot. Right. Listen to me. If you go to my Facebook wall, you will see it. I saw the Goonie house where Data, the little Asian kid that came across. His house is right next door. The house from Kindergarten Cop. Listen, I kept saying over and over, Jerk. Yeah. I can't believe I'm here. Right. I can't believe I'm here. 5 national parks. Nice. 15,500 miles later, I got to see 2 presidential libraries, the Friday Night Lights Stadium, Permian High School, live and in living color. Texas. Listen, it was living your best life yet.
So what? I guess what states didn't you touch down in? I guess I should ask.
Okay, so some people say, well Armando, how did you able to do that? Well, first of all, I was being sarcastic because I get tired of that question. I simply got in my car, I pressed the little start button, it turned on my ignition, and I put it in drive, and I got it going. Wow. So that's being facetious. The real truth of the matter. So I started off from Gainesville, went up I-75, made sure I got through Atlanta so I didn't hit all that traffic. Went through a little bit of Tennessee, Paducah, Kentucky, a little bit of Illinois, across Missouri, across Kansas. I wanted to see Kansas, never saw Kansas. Yeah. It is not as flat. Whoever tells you Kansas is flat lies to you. Trust me. Went to my brother's in Denver, Colorado. Chilled there for a day. Went up to Wyoming. Went north, because I've been to Wyoming like 2 times already anyway. Wow. Went through north, because I wanted to see Montana. That's what got it started. Okay. I went from west of Montana, the eastern part of Montana, all the way west. Right. I hit Seattle. Right. Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man.
Yes, sir. And then I went down through Oregon. Oregon is the most beautiful state, I got to tell you. Yeah. Love it. Want to be there. Want to live there. Want to settle there.
I heard that before.
Went to Oakland and San Francisco. San Francisco's all right. I love Oakland because our people are there. Went to Fruitvale Station. Wow. That's kind of a sore spot for me. Right. Love Northern California. Would never want to live there. Saw Facebook. Saw Google.
No, I'm trying to think of the kid's name.
Oh, yeah, Oscar Grant.
Oscar Grant.
Yeah, Brother Grant. Yeah. Then I came back through Oregon, went through Idaho and Boise, went down through Yellowstone, went down through the Tetons, stayed there for a week. Wow. Went back to my brother's, went down through New Mexico, went across Texas, went up through Oklahoma, because Harvey was starting to come through. So I had to go and end it around, so I went up through Oklahoma, went to Bentonville, Arkansas, where Walmart is. Nice. Went to Memphis, had some good barbecue. If you ever have Memphis barbecue, let me be the first to tell you, slap your mama good.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I haven't had St. Louis yet.
I was going to say, I thought you talk about Kansas City and St. Louis.
Yes, sir. I haven't had Kansas City, so everybody will probably...
But they talk about Memphis, too. Well, hey, man.
Hey, hold on. Real quick, shout out. Another one of my folks that I serve with, Celeste, Ebony Celeste. I serve with her. Big shout out to you. She said she's never been to Wyoming or Montana. Right. You got to go.
That's why I asked you, like, what states haven't you been to? Because it sounds like you took almost all 50, at least 40.
Well, I've been to 65 countries total.
In the continental.
I've been to 65 countries, and the only states that I have not gone to yet, and it's a sore spot for me because I've hit every other one but these. So I've not been to North Dakota and South Dakota. Okay. I have not been to Minnesota.
Fargo.
Yeah, Iowa, and my favorite football team is Green Bay. I've not been to Wisconsin.
I saw you with the Green Bay.
Yeah, I love Green Bay. No, much love, and that's it, man. And I'm done. My
What's so good about Green Bay besides Reggie White, man? Well, but
we don't speak blasphemy. I'm forgiving for that.
Cheesehead, man.
Yeah, I'm a cheesehead.
Green Bay is the only team that's owned by the people, if I'm not mistaken, right?
My brother. Somebody, yes, sir. You can actually buy stock in Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I remember that, man.
That is true.
Well, anyway, I guess to ask you about all of your traveling, man. How is that? What did you learn from that concerning Alachua County? Like, is there a difference here opposed to traveling the world, seeing different things? Because I rely on your expertise there as a travel person.
I'll tell you what traveling does. First off, it's important to understand different cultures, different people. Traveling enables you to find out what you find out, and not just here, but when you travel abroad to different countries. I really like traveling abroad, right? Because when you understand people, you find out one thing about people that is really universal. And the one thing that you find out, Jerk, is that we are all very much the same. You know, the only thing that makes us different is geography. Right. So to answer your question directly, with my recent travels is you find that life is very different, but as a man of color, you find out it's still the same.
Right.
In all of Wyoming, I probably saw about 12 black folks, and they were all in Walmart. And in Montana, I hardly saw any, unless they were working there or something, but hardly any. I discovered that there's 300 miles worth of, a whole bunch of miles worth of desert, not 300, but it's a lot. And Oregon has a lot of desert. And most people don't know. I did know that, but until I drove it, it's very intense. See, but what to relate it to Alachua County, to relate it to Gainesville, let's talk about. I'm glad you asked that question, because what it actually did is this. What I discovered, we call ourselves in Alachua County the Blue County, Democratic County, Progressive County. I went to the premier, the pinnacle, the top of the food chain when it comes to what a progressive city is. Name them off: San Francisco, Eugene, Oregon, Seattle, Portland. All those places are very, very democratic.
Those liberal sanctuary cities, man.
Well, we will, I'm not going there, because then you're gonna have some people, other people, folk believe that. Yeah, but I got you.
Well, I do want to say, let's get your perspective. So, do you really feel like this? Because I heard the way you worded that about we're supposed to be a blue county.
Hold on 1 second.
Go ahead.
Ebony Celeste said, "Is that the Jerkins that was at Bragg with us?" I don't think
that's my brother.
Yeah, no, Ebony Celeste. She's on.
Yeah, my brother was in Bragg.
I guess it might be.
Shout out to my brother, man.
What unit was your brother in?
I wouldn't be able to tell you, man. I can't tell you that.
Ebony just directly messaged me offline. I'll figure it out.
But he was there.
But this is his brother.
He was there from 03 to 06. So.
Well, she's actually from Miami. She thought I forgot that. She's from Miami. She don't think I remember that, but I do.
I spent a lot of time.
I want to say Liberty City, but I don't want to get cussed out. So she might. Hi, Aaliyah. Well,
this is what I wanted to mention. Just to get back to what we were saying. You said that Gainesville's, I don't know if you use the word known as, supposed to be a blue county. Do we really have that feel here?
Well, it's not just a feel. We look at the demographics. If you go to the supervisor of elections, this is a Democratic county. Most of the elected officials here, when it comes locally, are Democrats. The majority of the populace, that is voting populace of the majority party, is Democratic.
That I didn't know. Feels very conservative around here.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
I mean, hey, that's just the feel. That's my opinion.
Some things I leave alone.
Hey, I ain't mad at
that one. But we can't get into it. Don't think I'm gonna leave everything alone.
No, you're good, man. I want to shout out too, recognize too that Armando here is a member of the Sigmas. So, I mean, anything we want to shout out about them?
The Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Can I do it? Can I do that? Is that all right? Well, I can't. I do it the wrong way. It sounds kind of corny.
We gotta earn that one, brother. Gotta earn that one.
All right, man. Hey, bro. All right.
But that could be arranged, I'm sure.
All right, cool, man. Cool. Shout out to Daryl Lloyd, though, man. What's my big homie name, man?
I don't know. There's lots of
big, huge police officer. He does everything around here.
Oh, you talking about Beast Mode?
Yeah. What's his name? Doug. Shout out to Big Doug too, man. He's a good guy.
But I'm gonna shout out to
like
Sherwin Henry.
Okay.
One of my close brothers. Right. Shout out Rory Jones, Mike Powell.
Shout out to Sherwin Henry, man.
Sherwin Henry, that brother.
All the work that he's done.
I want to shout out my Zetas too. I want to shout out my sisters.
We have them up there a lot.
I love my Zetas. Love my Deltas. Camila Spence.
Okay.
Shout out to her.
Miss you said Zeta's. My cousin's a Zeta actually, man. She just became a Zeta.
She's a smart lady.
But then I know Couture's a good girl. But then Miss what's her name, man?
Gwen Sappho.
My Lance Lawson's mom, Elena Lawson.
She's a Zeta.
Yeah. Good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, man, we've done a lot. I think we've done enough pleasantries, man. I want to kind of get to some,
all right,
just some local issues, local politics. I want to speak in general first. I'll just ask you in general. I respect a lot of. I got a lot of admiration for your expertise, man. I really think you've seen a lot. I think you got a perspective that needs to be shared. So I'm asking you, as a citizen of Alachua County, as a black male in Alachua County, as a community member of Alachua County, what do you think are some issues that we're facing, man, that are very important to the community here, man? Like what sticks out?
Well, I think there's a lot actually. I think There's plenty. I really think that we as a people, we in some facets we are fractured here locally.
Understood.
But I don't think that any of the experiences here in Gainesville or Alachua County are unique. And they're not. I mean, some people may think they are, but they're really not. We have East Gainesvilles all over the country.
Oh, yeah.
We have the same problems going on in the black community here that you got in Oakland.
Right.
People don't believe that, but we do. But to answer your question, as a people, as a community, overall, I think that we have to stop being accepting and apathetic. We have a community here that is very apathetic.
Yeah, I was going to say, explain what apathy is. Because I'm not even clear on...
Well, that's a great point. So apathy meaning, like, you know what? You just don't care. If it happens, it happens.
Like complacent.
Blase, blah. Yeah, you're complacent. You're just comfortable. It happens. It's kind of like if your house burned. Okay, well, it just happened. My house burned down. Yeah. But most people like, my house burned down. You're like, oh, hey, it's my house burned down. So whatever. It doesn't matter. I
agree with you. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but you say that's one of the big things. Apathy. I think a lot of that comes from
concerning.
Right. I think a lot of that comes from a lot of people just used to how things have been going and just don't even enter into.
I think our mutual friend Dijon said it as well too. We as a people are very religious people, but we are harder on each other as people of color, as black people, than we are other people.
Yeah.
Like you have Sherwin Henry running for mayor, 2013, 2014. How many people that look like you and I that didn't support him?
Yeah.
Questioning it. This brother's a scientist, been working at the university 40 plus years. Not a stupid person by any stretch of the imagination, but we're harder on this brother, and we got people going to support a man because he's white versus this. I mean, it's awful. But why could criticize our community? I'm not going to just go there, but I think for us is we have to learn to become united and stop selling each other out.
Right.
And we really got to stop.
I actually did a Facebook Live video about that about a week or two ago. I was in a taco at a taco place. So I'm not gonna mention them. And
Burrito Brothers.
No, one Burrito Brothers, but very close.
Okay.
Geographically.
Don't keep making me names.
No.
All right.
It was Taco Tuesday. I just put it there. I'm in the taco place, which is actually where one of their busiest days. They had one server, one cook. It was crazy in there. It was very, very horrible. I ended up waiting forever. You know what I mean, during lunchtime. And I made a note to state that with all that horrible service that was going on in there, not one white person in there was down in the whole establishment. Not one white person was in there down in white people as a race in general. You know, and talking about how they can't do business right, and I could see, and I see that all the time with us, where it seems like when we go to different black businesses or any kind of black leadership authority, we are a lot harder on them. We'll set the bar.
It's awful.
The standards are almost impossible, and I mean, again, like you were saying, like you mentioned earlier, I don't think that's something that's specific to Alachua County.
It's not.
But it is something that will take a re-education.
There's a special group of us in here in Alachua County.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's something in the water, but another example of that, let me talk about something more specific. I like to give specifics, Dirk, because, like, for an example, we will talk against our own best interests.
Oh, yeah.
Here. Now, I don't know. You're from here, right? You're from East. You know about East Gainesville.
Oh yeah.
Does East Gainesville look anything like Western Gainesville?
When you said that last night, you asked me that last night. I wanted you to be so wrong, but I couldn't. But
let's talk about that.
But you're absolutely right.
But I want to give two.
Well, they got a Hungry Howard's over there now.
let's seriously let's talk about that, right?
Yeah.
We got our own people that will talk us out and sell us out, and I'm going to give you prime examples right now of that.
Okay.
So. And you correct me. I want you to correct me if I'm wrong at all. Please do.
No, go ahead.
We don't have a problem in East Gainesville about caring about trees and water or the environment. We don't have that problem. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. We have a development that you're probably well aware of called Celebration Point.
Oh, yeah.
New movie theater. Those folks tore up thousands and thousands and thousands of trees. Mm-hmm. One thing said about the trees.
Displaced a lot of animals too.
Yeah, and the water wasn't a problem. They wrote out, the government rolled out the red carpet. And this is what I'm talking. We're getting into it now. Rolled out the red carpet. No problem here. Sierra Club, no problem here. Wow. When it comes to our side of town, watch this. We want to get development like that. Then it's the magical thing. It's the magical wetlands and the magical tree issue. Matter of fact, we were talking about somebody you and I know equivalently, looks like you and I. She goes right along with them. The magic word when it comes to development for black people in our side of town for development is they use the environment. And there's a book about environmental racism that they use it. And the Sierra Club did it for many years. Wow. When you have to have a Republican president back in the day before you and our time, named Richard Nixon, which many people know of.
Tricky Dick.
When he has to shame you to change your policies and standards, but we go along with him. So why would any black person go along with that mentality? Not that none of us want clean water or clean air. Of course we do. Yeah. But when it's a one-sided conversation, jerk, that's a problem.
Yeah, it is. But most racism is economic. So I agree with you to the fullest, and they have, when I say they, I mean oppressors.
Let's define who they is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's why I say, when I say they is, I mean oppressors. They will.
Well, let me define who they is. I actually put a name to them.
Oh, go right ahead, man.
No, they are. This we said it earlier. This is a progressive county. They are progressives. Progressives have been. We talk about how I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I'm gonna be straight up with you. Not a fan of the president at all. Did not vote for him at all. Do not support him. Don't care for him. Right. But these folks are worse than Donald Trump. Much worse.
Explain why. I love this.
I'm gonna explain why in 2 seconds. And we have black people that go along and sell. They will sell you on the ship. They will sell you out. I'm proving it to you. Donald Trump will call you the N-word to your face, and you know where you stand. These folks try to say, we love you, we pat you on the back, and then they use their policies to keep you in bondage and in poverty and keep you from living your best life yet. And that's just wrong. And that's not okay. Example, we have a development here going up in Gainesville, in East Gainesville. Do you remember Kennedy Homes, the public home site? Yeah. It got tore down several years ago. We have a project going in there, about a $6.5 million project called Heartwood. I've seen it. Heartwood is going to be a single-family development home. I'm on the East Side Redevelopment Advisory Board for that. And let me tell you, the games that have been played with that are over the top.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you have a $6 million project, right? Now, if I'm wrong with the numbers, correct me now. Yeah. If you have, it's about 97, 98% African American community around there. You know, they did not have not one African American contractor or vendor at all with that project. Not one. Sheesh. And listen, the new motto for the city of Gainesville is citizen-centered, citizen-empowered. Their rhetoric doesn't match their BS.
Wow. And that's what Trump is actually good at, which is separating his message from his actual policy. But sounds like that's what's been going on with us and what you call progressive for decades.
Yeah, but it's really more so hurting when you have groups that are supposed to be for our people going on. The leader of the NAACP, we're going to get into that really. Right. When you're going along and selling your people out, shameful. Sheesh. And then Dijon, our friend Dijon, Minister Dijon was saying, where are our ministers at? Yeah. We got some ministers up there going hand to hand with selling their own people out. Shameful. It's sad. It's sad. It's real sad. I'm not in a name dropping mood today.
Exactly. Good. Well, I used to work for some pastors here, and when we had Richard Spencer come through last year.
I recall. Yeah, him.
Yeah,
he that should not be named.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. And he told you where you stood, though, didn't he?
And I had Pastor Reverend Rawls. That's why I always shout him out. I had Pastor Reverend Rawls here, who was the only clergy member at the protest. And the official stance, the press release they put out to the newspapers and to the into the radio stations and TV stations, was that the Alachua County Pastors Association was just not gonna give it any attention. And I had
that is apathy.
I had Pastor Rawls explain. Well, I just used the word complacency, which is, I think, sounds like one and the same. Explain why that's harmful to us. You know what I mean? That a lot of the protests, a lot of things that we did against that to even stop that from going down here, it was done by people that look like me and you, opposed to our, supposed leaders. And that's not to bash them, but I do want to kind of send out a wake up call to just regular citizens, because if we're waiting on them, it's probably not going to happen.
Well, I want to talk about one issue, because I think it is harmful. We do not in a name dropping move, but we have people that are hurting our own people. I mean, there was a minister. He's friends with a former mayor that was a former female mayor minister, and you and I both know him from a very big congregation, black church.
Right.
This brother wants to badmouth Sherwin Henry, and then when Sherwin would do business with this brother, he had to shame this brother into giving him a donation and support him. When you got white candidates running, this brother be like, "How can I help you?" I mean, foaming at the mouth to say, "I want your picture with you." That's the kind of stuff that's like, my parents did not raise me, and I don't know about you, but my parents didn't raise me to feel like I had to feel like I'm beneath people that don't look like me or smile in their face. I don't need the acceptance of people that don't look like me. I'm completely okay with who I am as a person, where I am in life.
That's what it's.
Believe me, I am.
Yeah, and that's what it is, and that is something I'm not sure if we can teach that. You know what I mean? I think that's something that definitely has to be instilled. You know what I mean?
Well, you have to make a conscious choice to want to sell your people out. Yeah. You have to make, like, for an example, a community leader that also asked Brother Henry, and even asked me, "What have you done for poor people?" You probably know this person. And always up there for Fifth Avenue Arts Festival. She's up there big time.
Right.
When she had a lot of debt owed to the city, and she can't stand Sherwin, but I'm going to call her out.
Right.
But guess what? That brother went to the city was going to come after you. Sherwin stopped that.
Right.
And so, I mean, this is the kind of stuff we're talking about. You're going to bash this brother, but you want to... We got Robert Hutchinson, commissioner, right now. She's going on. He has none of his actions have ever supported us. He wants to go on this Truth and Reconciliation tour we got to look into our history and learn our history. Like, we don't know our history. But meanwhile, how are you going to go on a Truth and Reconciliation tour to get some recognition when your policies are keeping black people in bondage? He just told you what he thought about you. This same guy that's Captain Environment, they call him, he's big on the environment. He just sent the fairgrounds to Newberry. And they talk about sprawl. Sprawl is where you have a movement or expansion of government that requires extensive growth into a certain area. So they're growing Newberry, which really Newberry doesn't need any help with growth. The natural progression of things is west anyway. Right?
Okay.
So it makes zero sense.
Newberry is well off. Probably one of the most well off town in the county outside of.
And you got our own people. You have our own people right now.
I grew up there.
Okay. Go ahead.
But no, you're good, bro. You're good. I wasn't trying to stop you at all. So I guess what I want to talk about, man, is proposed solutions, collective proposed solutions. Because I mean, it's gonna be bigger than me and you. I love the way you and Shanae put it, man. It's not about me; it's about we. I love that. And what do you propose? Like, what do you propose we do collectively, or what can even an individual do for the collective effort?
Shanae may come at it from a different approach,
right.
and we're very different people. But I will say this. Shanae said yesterday, and I don't share this sentiment with her, that it's not about politics, but it is about politics.
Oh, it's always about politics.
It is absolutely about politics.
Yeah.
Now, and many of it supersedes that, too. I agree with her in that. But we can't say that. We can't pretend that it doesn't. And this is where Shanae and I also disagree, that I also recognize, and I told her early on, we're not in a post-racial society. But we need to also talk about Shanae, because we brought up Shanae a couple times.
Oh, that's fine.
And we haven't talked about it. But to answer your solution, we can still get there, but I think before we get to the solution, with all due respect, I think we need to talk about the problem that got us there.
Let's identify the problem first.
If you don't mind.
No, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
But hold me accountable to that. We do need to have solutions, and I do want to propose something.
Right.
Today.
The only reason I mention that is because for people who are hearing this conversation right now, first time hearing it, I'm sure a lot of this would frustrate them. As citizens, a lot of people live with this frustration in them every day and just don't have a way to convey it. I know how to convey it. You know what I mean? I don't know, the proper responses to, how they're feeling. So when I asked you about the solution, it was just, to kind of kind of help.
I am absolutely going to answer your question on solution. I promise you I will.
No, I got you. So, you want to move on to Sinead?
Well, not just Sinead, but what happened to our community?
Let's go there.
On last Tuesday. Matter of fact, last Tuesday.
Okay, yeah, start there.
So we had an event at the African American Accountability Alliance Political Action Committee, or better known as the 4A's PAC. We had a forum. A forum, what means is we have a get-together of the community to listen to candidates who want to seek elected office, right. Tell them why we should send them there or not vote for them.
Right.
And so one of the candidates that was running for office is a progressive Democrat member of the school board. His name is Dr. Gunnar Paulson.
And he's already he's an incumbent, right?
Correct. He's an incumbent. He's already there. His family happened to make some very racist and bigoted comments, more so bigoted than racist.
And she even physically touched her, right?
I won't say she physically touched her, but she was putting her finger in her face.
Okay.
I'm going to get to that, but
I'm sorry.
What precipitated that? What started all of this? The genesis of it was, number one, they're sitting in the audience, they're sitting up to the front, and they're talking kind of loudly, and they're kind of whispering, and then the statement that's made is one of his opponents, Gunnar's opponents. Her name is Judy DeJesus McNeil. Judy is a candidate for his seat. She is from New York. She's a Latina. She has an accent. To me, she doesn't, but whatever. But to some people, she does. They were making fun of her accent. They made the statement that we don't know if she's qualified to be a candidate. We might need to call ICE. And ICE is, as you know, Donald Trump is using them to round up people, separate children and families. KGB. It's immigration.
Yeah, KGB, man.
And then the other statement that was made was, Sinead quietly, she asked them nicely, can you please quiet down and give this lady the respect that we're giving your husband or your dad. And then they wanted to see, they're pointing their finger in her face, calling her Shanae. So she says, please get your hand out my face. I'm not a child. She proceeds to get up and remove herself, goes to the back of the room. They follow her to the back of the room, get her hand in her face. The lady, the mother, his wife, Gunnar's wife, goes there, grabs Shanae's hand, and says, "Your people are so ignorant." Well, what people are we talking about? The only people in that room besides Caucasian were black people. And that's who they were talking about.
And this had to be a comment coming from the far right, alt right.
Well, no, this was not the alt right. This was not Donald Trump. This was a Democrat.
Right.
And that's what I told you, where the progressives are the problem. Yeah. And we're going to get to that. Let's follow up, because let's talk about the elected officials who are not saying anything.
Right.
So watch this.
Perfect.
So not only did they grab her hand, Shanae again removed herself. She goes outside, changes her campaign shirt to a regular shirt.
Right.
Goes into the hallway. They follow her into the hallway.
Jeez.
And I am with her. She's upset.
That's harassment.
Yeah. And they're talking about, well, we should call Sadie Darnell, blah, blah, blah. This is the same Sinead that had a situation with her son that was on YouTube or whatever, and I don't want to even get into that debacle.
Right.
But then the wife, Gunnar's wife, comes outside and says, and I'm not going to curse, but I'm going to use F's or B's.
No, go right ahead.
I'm so effing tired of these GD, which is God darn, or whatever, GD, ignorant people. Once again, what people are we talking about? This is not Donald Trump. This is not Republicans. This is not conservatives. And by the way, they don't get a pass either. But this was not them tonight. This was Democrats. So instead of that night, so Shanae, of course, got loud and she was upset. Of course, you would be too if that was your sister. Why is it our people?
Yeah.
Do we come to her? No, not a lot of us. We don't come to her aid. We stick our hand in the ground. We victimize her. President of the NAACP shamed her that she was the problem. Even some elected officials that were there shamed her. Some black people in that room shamed her. But also, let me be in perspective, just to be clear. This didn't happen to just Shanae. It happened to Sandy Hightower and Larry McDaniel, who's a former command sergeant major in the Army as well.
Yeah, shout out
to McDaniel and to Sandy Hightower. So really, all of our community was victimized that day. Yeah. Shanae was the face of it because they were getting in her face. But here's the thing. What I'm most frustrated by, Jerk, is our people. Right. Our people that look like you and me. Why is that okay? That's not okay. But here's the other icing on the cake. You asked earlier, a second ago, was this conservatives or Republicans? It was not.
Yeah.
The mayor, a Democrat, has said nothing. A lot of the city commissioners have said nothing. There's been 2 Caucasian candidates or elected officials that have said anything. Commissioner Ken Cornell, who's a county commissioner right now, he has stood up against it. He's got hell for it. Scott Costello, who's a candidate for county commission, has said anything. Everybody else has been quiet.
Sheesh.
So now, what is the genesis of this? Who is Gunner attacking? Gunner's been attacking a school board candidate by the name of Tina Certain, who's a black woman, who's an accountant running for school board.
Yeah.
And he said he's not supporting her. He's by proxy, Gunner, a Democrat, is supporting a Republican. Not just any kind of Republican. He's supporting a Donald Trump Republican.
Right. And that's something that is diabolical. That's like I said, that is just crazy. The fact that he would go out of his way to support a person from across the aisle rather than in his own party. What's the point in being in a party?
Well, I'm a member of the Democratic Executive Committee, and I'm going to speak for myself. But there was a letter that was sent. He was asking for support from the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. Well, some of the tenets of our party is that we're in the business of getting other Democrats elected. We're the Democratic Party. We're in the business of getting Democrats elected,
Understood.
Right? So if you're not supporting a Democratic candidate by proxy, you're supporting a Republican.
Yeah, that's almost traitors. Like.
Well, but here's the thing: we were talking about like Donald Trump and Republicans. And we call them out. You know and I know, jerk, had this been a Republican that said what Gunner said, you wouldn't have had to waste no time. The mayor would have been, all of us would have been up in arms. Oh my God, look what so-and-so is saying. But Democrats, all of a sudden there's silence in the room.
Yeah.
And I want to know why, jerk. Why is that okay?
That complacency is more problematic.
That's the apathy we're talking about.
Yeah, that is very, 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 very disheartening, man. So... You're mentioning the forum last week at the health department, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's correct.
4A's. But then last night
the 4A's PAC.
The 4A's PAC.
I'm saying that because I want to make sure I keep reiterating that.
Right.
They're very different parts of the organization. Correct.
All right, cool. Political Action Committee.
Mm-hmm.
But last night there was school board meeting.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about. I didn't forget about it. I'm trying to forget about it.
Which was another crazy situation.
Yes.
So can you kind of bring us up to speed up there, please?
Well, once again, some of our people are failing to be there again, but
yeah.
Both Shanae and I were there, and some others were there. And shout out to
saw Miss Faye Williams there.
Shout out to Faye. Shout out to Elizabeth Hawk, who stood up a couple times. Shout out to Reverend Carl Smith. I
saw Carl Smith. Shout out to Reverend Carl Smith.
Yeah, drove in from Jacksonville.
That's what I'm talking about.
Shout out to him. Elizabeth Hawk is watching. I wish she would get on Facebook with me. But she's been kind of skittish.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that to her because I love her. But let me say this. She's a mother of 4, hardworking lady.
Okay.
And she cares about her community, cares about our community. And she's speaking truth to power. I love Elizabeth. Elizabeth just doesn't realize how much I admire and respect her. To be a Caucasian woman and say this is just wrong, that's courage.
That's courage. They always tell people, man, there's never been a major successful black movement without the help of some good white people.
That's correct. And let me shout out to somebody else real quick,
we always try to mention that, yeah.
Joe Addington today talked about he wants to leave the Democratic Party because he was assaulted twice in 3 years. And in our local DEC for many, many years, it was like they had an allergy. It was like the best country club for Democrats that there could be. They had an allergy to having black people in. I mean, it was run by one segment of the population, but they had an allergy. I was a former Republican. They didn't want me in. They had 2 types of rules, but when I said they have an allergy, it was like they did not want black people in.
I'm going to just ask you specifically, what kind of reasons would they give for not?
Oh, it's such BS.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he was a Republican. No freaking kidding, but now I'm a Democrat.
Yeah, that's
so you're not our type of Republican. But they had whites that were former Republicans. They would, once again, roll out the carpet for them. How do our people support it? Oh, they spoke out against them. I mean, our people are it's just awful. But here's the thing. Right now, I want to speak to what's happening now.
Right.
Right now, the chair of the Democratic Party is a black woman.
Yes, it is.
It's a black woman.
Okay.
Where are people now? Now, for all our faults and how we might feel about somebody, and trust me, me and the chair, we've had our disagreements. Mm-hmm. She's still a black woman.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, we need to join. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to end up happening. You want to talk about, we got white lash with Donald Trump?
Uh-huh.
We had lash. Watch what happens within this party. You want to talk about lash? Man, I am just getting to the point where progressivism as a whole, there's not you can't with a broad stroke say all progressives are bad jerk.
Right.
Because I know Elizabeth Hawkins is a progressive. She's a good person.
Yeah, that'd be
my question is, but when you're using your policies to do bad things, we need to call you on it.
Oh, absolutely.
Black or white.
Well, man, I think that, I mean, this is my personal opinion. I think both parties nationally are going through changes, through big changes. I think the parties that we know right now, I think pretty soon they won't be the same, because the effect that they're having. Well, you see in the Democratic Party. I'm talking about nationally here. It's kind of split between the moderates and the progressives. The progressives are going way lefter. A lot of times they're winning a lot of these national seats. And then on the the Republican side, it's the party abandoning Trump now. They're the base now, the weirdos, the crazies. So I think both of those parties are kind of going through a transformation, but and maybe for the better. One thing that's for certain is that our issues, specifically in the black community, and I just say poverty too. I mean, people that are below the poverty line. Those people are kind of I just think tired of a lot of the what you keep calling apathy. So I think they're kind of splitting and kind of doing their own things in a lot of different ways. And I think here locally in Lochwood County, I don't know if we kind of caught on yet. You know what I mean? So I guess that leads me to ask you, which I want to ask you in a minute. Like, for somebody who's like listening to us right now, like what is something that I can do today? Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right.
Number one, let's start off with some basic small things we can do.
Right.
Number one is you got to start giving a damn. If you don't give a damn about anything, start giving a damn about yourself.
Right.
You got to care about yourself. And you know why? Because here's the most important thing. So what can you do as a person? Number one, if you're not registered to vote, get registered to vote. If you can't register to vote because you might have some things preventing you from voting, like you might have a record or what have you. Well, guess what? There's good news. Let me tell you what the good news is.
What's that?
Up on the ballot this year, we have a lot of people. We're trying to restore felons' rights to vote.
Yes, it is.
So if you don't, you better get your friends registered to vote so they can vote for it, so that you can get your right to vote back.
If it's important.
So here's the thing: you have zero excuse. If you're not, get friends registered to vote. Go work in campaigns. Here's the other great news too. What can you do? Number one, get involved and learn your local government, because everything in your local government affects you every day.
Yeah.
And local government affects you more than the national. Okay. Because you see things happening. If you don't understand your local government, you have no excuse. You have to have a desire to choose not to do it and stay ignorant. And you know who said it best? Malcolm X said it best. Our black people that want to be blind, deaf, and dumb will remain blind, deaf, and dumb.
Oh, yeah.
And so the good book talks about it. So for those that are of faith, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. I have always said, I don't believe in just excellence. Mondo believes in black excellence.
I love that.
I believe in black excellence because we are better than what we are showing of ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
We used to value education as a people. We used to value knowledge. But now all we think we can do is dribble a basketball and throw a football.
Yeah, rap.
And they keep us dumb and blind, deaf, and dumb. We can't do math. We can't say words like library. We can't say words like specifically or ask.
Yeah.
I mean, we are so much better than what we are portraying ourselves. We don't always have to be just rap lyrics or the next Cardi B or the next Drake or whoever else is out there that you like.
Right. No, I agree.
You could be a scientist like Sherwin Henry. Oh, yeah. You could be the chief of police like Tony Jones. You could be the mayor. You could be the president. You could be anything that you want to be. You can even be, when somebody that just came on that I'm going to give a shout out to, you could be a state representative like Clovis Watson Jr.
Clovis Watson Jr.
And I'm going to say another line that this brother said to me once, Clovis, because I see Clovis. Clovis said, in order to be comfortable, you must first be uncomfortable.
Nice.
So that sits and resonates with me. That's a mentor of mine.
I love that.
Clovis is an amazing human being and always wants the best for his people.
Yeah, he's the station owner's nephew. So yeah,
I didn't know that. So shout out to Mr. Watson, Representative Watson, the Honorable.
Big fan,
that's my brother. I love him to death.
Let me ask you real quick. This is just something on top of my head, man. What do you think about the governor's race? Gillum and all those, and Levine, and you got a hat in the race there, the horse in the race there.
I am.
I mean, you got to give you endorsement.
No. I have been struggling with this one, and I'll tell you why. Because
curious how you feel.
I don't support people just because they look like me, but I'm going to be very clear. Andrew Gillum came to a couple of schools I was at. Especially came to University of North Florida, and he came to the Black Caucus down in Orlando. And I just get this idea that I don't want people to feel like they just take the black vote for granted. And while I'm actually going to be more open to Andrew Gillum than I was before, but I was looking at other people. But I'll tell you why I'm up in arms and still up in the air on this race, because we have a couple of good quality candidates.
Okay.
We do. And I'm going to be watching the debate tonight to see where I stand. So I'm still up in the air about that. My mind is open. I'm still there. So I'm willing to have a dialogue. But I do have a dog in the hunt in some other races.
Okay, yeah, I'm just curious about how you felt about it. It's something that popped in my head. Quick, man. All right, so cool. Let's move on to, again, now you talk solutions. We talked a little bit about...
I didn't finish on the solutions, though.
Oh, we didn't? Okay, go ahead.
No. If you're not just getting registered to vote, get involved in your local government. The other thing is, get involved in helping change policies. How do you do that? Get involved in boards. Get involved and volunteer. You can drive policy. Former person that did it all the time, people like Betty Baker, she's now passed away, a mentor of mine. Get involved. And the way if you don't know where to start, I'll tell you where to start. Go down and start attending city and county commission meetings. You say, well, that might be boring. Well, maybe you start with an hour or two. Maybe you learn something. Yeah. Well, I didn't know what that was. People that hate GRU, when they get their electric bill. Why is my electric bill high? What's going on with that? Go get involved.
They just asked for a 3% raise.
Well,
yesterday. We got to go to those meetings.
You got to get involved.
My girl used to work there. They tell the employees that's one of the company lines. Y'all don't come to the meeting, so y'all can't complain about the bill.
The next thing I want to talk about is Brother Henry and I are going to be starting an organization together.
Okay.
Sherwin Henry and I are going to be starting an organization, and we're going to be bringing together like minds that are egoless, not the typical quote unquote black leaders you have. We're bringing together minds and people that are inclusive.
Say that again. That are egoless.
Egoless. That don't have their ego. That put their ego to the side.
LESS.
And they're not going to be your traditional black leaders. You're like, well, I know who that's going to include. No, it's not going to be who you think.
I got you.
So we want people that, like Shanae said, we want people together with us that are community first, and them. If you got an ulterior motive, we're probably not going to be working for you well. If you're wanting to say, what can I get from this? Probably not going to work out well for you.
Nice.
Because I will tell you this, when Sherwin and I are working together, and I love working with that brother, he's been here a lot longer than him. He'll tell me still about Lincoln High School when he went here. I want better for East Gainesville. I want better for our people.
Yeah, we deserve it.
I'm putting the people before me. It's okay. Right.
That's true public service. And we definitely. I'd love to speak with Mr. Henry sometime as well, man. I'm sure he'd. Hopefully, he'll be open to that.
I was hoping he would have called in.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Actually, we had Sam Wesley call a minute ago, but I didn't have him on. So.
Oh, you should have had him on tell Brother Wesley to call.
I didn't have the speaker on, so I couldn't. I want to play him, on the air. Well, hey, man. I don't want to keep you here all day. I do think there's a whole lot more that we could discuss, man.
We could continue the dialogue, Jerry.
Right, absolutely. One thing I did want to mention is I used to do, here on this show, we used to do a local government official of the day. And in that, give me a second, yeah. In that, we used to name a different local politicians. We've done Sadie Darnell, we've done pretty much we've done Kim Barton, anybody, commissioners, mayors, whatever. And what we would do is like a quick profile, you know what I mean, and I always thought that would be a good way to kind of introduce to the public, our local officials, because like you said earlier, a lot of times those are the people that really are impacting your life directly a lot more than a lot of these national policies.
Well, I want to encourage our people to do the following right now, what we can do. Of all the people running right now, if that was Sam Wesley, I would have happily talked to him. But right now, Armando's supporting Tina Certain for school board.
Shout out to
Armando is not supporting people that the campaign, like that Gunnar Paulson's campaign team has been attacking. Armando's supporting Gloria Walker for judge. He's supporting Meshawn Rawls for judge.
Nice.
I'm supporting Randy Wells for county commission. I am supporting the people that are going to move this county forward, that care about all people in our community and not the select few.
Okay.
That's where I am right now. And I know people might have different people in the hunt. That's fine. At the end of the day, I have watched what Scott Camille and some of these people that are behind Gunnar Paulson have done, attacking our community. That's not okay with me.
I'm not familiar with that. So, and this is something I want to really. I'm gonna have to do a little research on myself. But let's talk about it a little bit. I mean, we don't have to bash him too much, but these are progressives. We talking about Scott Camille, and these are progressives, right? That are with these attacks against these new candidates here. So what exactly specifically have they done? Are they just bad mouthing them? Or?
Well, specifically, they've been putting out all kind of nonsense and foolishness, and they're not supporting Tina Certain because she wrote a letter to the editor like she can't have an opinion. Like, stop the presses when a black person or any person has an opinion, much less because she's a woman has an opinion. I mean, stop the press. So because she put out an opinion on the current tax or the 1 mil tax that's being proposed. Like, she can't have an opinion or disagree. That's the problem with us, with progressives. And if you watch Bill Maher, the comedian that's on TV, we have a problem when it comes to free speech and acceptance. And that's a problem even in our party. And that's going to be a problem, a death knell in our party too. Because it's kind of like, well, if I don't like you, then you're just a hater, or you're this. That's horse crap.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah.
So his real problem with her is because, or actually, I'm going to say Gunner's. Gunner's problem is that supposedly, which I don't buy, she wrote an opinion in the Gainesville Sun about the 1 mil. So he's not supporting her. So, Gunner, my question to you is, you're going to support not just any Republican, you're going to support a Donald Trump Republican because she's currently your colleague. So we want to have weapons and guns and teachers in our school, people that support the Donald Trump education plan. I mean, this is what we're talking about, folks.
Yeah. And this is right here at home, Lafayette County.
And Democrats. These aren't Republicans. And they gave the superintendent last night highly effective.
We didn't talk about that. Let's talk because you were right there for everything that went down last night. Can you kind of illustrate the happenings and everything that occurred last night?
Well, to me, when you get a highly effective, there's got to be a measurement process that's standardized, that makes sense. But when you have school board members saying they're going to amend their original statement to say now that when somebody's highly effective, when we were ask your brother, and I'm sure some of the people that served in the military, whenever we got in evaluations, if we were meeting the standard, we were meeting the standard. In order to be effective or highly effective, you had to be exceeding the standard. Well, if this superintendent is not exceeding the standard, please help me understand how you're effective or highly effective.
And when you say that, you're talking about the achievement gap.
It's more than just the achievement gap,
right.
Overall measurement. But the achievement gap is not even there.
Right.
They're saying they've increased the African American graduation rate by X amount of percentage. I'm gonna tell you what the truth of the matter, what they're doing is Sinead broke it down. I asked Sinead that question yesterday on live video, and she explained it. Well, when kids are dropping out of the system, they're no longer measuring them that in.
Right.
So when they're going to micro school or other schools,
so
that's how they get the measurement. Or they'll take a few black students at Buchholz that are not part of the population and say, hey, we got some folks. I'm being facetious with that.
No, go ahead.
I'm being silly with that one, but the point is, when you have people that are no longer being measured, of course your numbers are going to go up because now you have less population to pull from.
Yeah.
So it's a farce.
Yeah.
These school board members, we really need to have an awakening. I am not supporting Gunner. I don't care what he does.
Right.
Should he apologize? He should absolutely apologize. The 4A's, I called on them to demand an apology. I'm still waiting for that. We haven't gotten an apology yet. We haven't heard any of them. So our people, to us, the other thing is, to black people, to our community, we have to stop being complacent.
Right. That's one of my biggest
it's sickening.
It's just driven by fear.
It's the most disgusting thing
driven by fear,
all the time. And then what they do to us, to Shanae or people like us, they say we're too aggressive or we're this or this or that, and they're the problem. It's not Shanae and I are not the problem.
Right.
They're the problem.
Right. Well, Shanae last night, from what she stated, was that, I mean, she came with the prepared statement with intentions on not violating any kind of
and
bylaws.
she did just that.
And she did just that. And even then, and I watched it myself, never raised a voice, never came off aggressive or anything like that. And I mean, while reading, and I was moved by the force that he used banging that gavel in there. It always was like he wanted to. like
that's who Gunnar Paulson
is. That aggression there, like you can't fake that.
But that's who Gunnar Paulson is as a person. When Maya Angelou said, but when somebody shows you who they are the first time, believe them.
Yeah.
But look, that's who he is. He's been that way all the time. That's why when I heard Nquanda say she's old, she knew him years ago and he was that way. Well, why are you just now saying something?
I saw that, man.
Why are you really?
I stayed out
when
of
that. When you have black folks that put his sign up, what are you talking about? And Nquanda,
that's good. I saw that post.
I'm just asking a question, like really.
Yeah.
I'm great that you're with Tina now. I'm
that's
great.
Real. That's real.
That's fantastic. But you're still selling us out.
Yeah.
You're still selling us out with policy. You're sporting. Come on.
You gotta have. You just gotta be bold to be a whistleblower, and that really. I mean, I think that really separates a lot of people that are just, you know.
And I want to be clear, Jerk. I love my people.
Oh, I know.
I love our people. I love our community. And I don't mean just black people. I love Gainesville. But we have to do better. It is imperative that we do better.
Well, it's a lot like, raising a child or something. I mean, you love them, but you want to see correction. Correct. Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, that's how you show your love.
I believe if we can call Donald Trump out, we should be able to call and clean up our own house.
It should be like.
And they don't like being credited. But see, silence is acceptance. The mayor's accepting and he's silent. All those city commissioners are silent. They're big on #MeToo. Listen, brother, I was in Portland, Oregon last summer, like I told you. I'm watching the TV and I'm seeing our elected officials like the mayor on TV talking about Confederate statues. In the meantime, he's still passing policies that are keeping us in bondage. But he's talking about statues that don't talk back to you.
Sheesh. It's all just some symbolism.
Exactly. Are you real? What are you? Where's the realness?
It's just symbolism.
So I'm waiting for the real mayor to step up.
Right. Well, I guess we got a little more time to see how he's gonna play it. Up until recently, I always thought I felt good about him. You know what I mean? And I'm still on the fence, but
my confidence is shaking.
That's what I'm trying to say. I just hope that. I hope I'm wrong there.
Well, he told Sherwin Henry and I at a meeting for the Eastside Advisory Board. He said to us, and I quote him directly. We have advisory boards, but he trusts professional staff because they're the real professionals. Basically, like we were. Inconsequential.
JV.
Like we were inconsequential. When people show you who they are the first time, believe them.
I was gonna say, you just said that, man. Well, hey, man, we are running out of time, man. I hate to say it, man, but is there anything we need to touch on before we get up out of here, man?
No, I just want to. I love my people. I love our people.
Yeah.
I want us to come together, bring us together. It's not about me. It is about we. It's about us.
That.
It's about our community. I don't believe in just excellence. I believe in black excellence, and we must live our best life yet.
Okay.
And we must do that now, and we deserve to be happy.
Cool.
We deserve to be prosperous.
Nice.
And we're going to be doing much better.
Well, look, man, I'm sure we may have a few people listening right now who may want to contact you for questions or ways to be more involved. I hope you're comfortable. Are you comfortable giving out your social media?
They can contact me on social media or Facebook. That's fine.
Yeah,
if I desire to, depending on what the content is, I may or may not respond to you.
I'm sure there may be some people that want to, may want to be involved and they just need that guidance. You know what I mean?
I have no problems with that.
Cool.
We will next time we talk again. Hopefully, Brother Henry and I have our organization going because we want to bring together the best of the best of the best of all people from all backgrounds.
That's what it's all about.
Because we are solution and action driven.
That's what it's all about, man. Results driven, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's get a good spelling on your name for social media so they can find it.
Sure. My first name is Armando. A is in Alpha. R is in Romeo. M is in Mike. A is in Alpha. N is in November. D is in Delta. O is in Oscar. My last name is hyphenated. It's G is in Golf. R, U as in Uniform. N is in November. D is in Delta. Y is in Yankee. Dash Gomez. G O, M as in Mike, E as in Echo, S as in Sam.
S, not Z, S.
That's correct.
Cool, because I would have missed that. Hey, man, I want to thank you again for all that you've done. We didn't even really get to talk about all the boards that you've sat on and thank you.
That's okay, man.
But it's cool. Like you said, it's not about you.
It isn't about me. It really isn't.
It's all good, man.
I want to thank you for having me.
No.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You'll definitely be back. Lastly, man, I do want to thank you and what's my homie name? Juan.
Oh, Juan Carlos.
And Celeste.
Well, hold up.
Everybody, man. Shout out to all the service members out here. Talk about how many minorities are in that are really holding up that military, because I don't think that really gets broadcast.
Man,
because
you're gonna have some white folks getting mad at me if I start doing that. Well, let me just, you know what? Yeah, I actually will, because
there's a lot of brothers in this military,
I took a class recently, and I don't know how much time we got left. I'll be quick.
You're good.
We had a Vietnam class I was taking.
Wow.
And all of the Vietnam veterans that were brought in, there was not one that looked like you or me.
Right.
And you can't tell me. I know my grandfather served in Korea and in Vietnam.
Yeah,
I lost family members. Vietnam was like genocide for black people. Jeez. We lost more people per capita than anybody else.
Really? I did not know that.
Fact.
Right.
So we fought in all the wars, but yet we are still treated like second-class citizens when we come here. So when I hear the term about making America great again, or taking it back to where it was, it makes me wonder. So what? We're not good enough to be a part of it, because if we go back again, we weren't good enough back then to be a part of it. It just makes you wonder. Every time you come back here, cops want to do this, can't have barbecues, can't do any of this stuff, and want to call the cops on you.
No, I'm with you.
So what's that? What's all that about?
Always that make America great again, and even the term conservative. I always feel like that's something that's...
Well, and progressives are no better. We just proved that out too. And to me, they're actually worse than conservatives.
I'm not talking about conservatives as individual, even their thought process, but just the term conservative means to save, right? It means to preserve.
Kind of,
right?
but there's a diametric definition.
Right, they want to preserve the Constitution. Am I wrong about that? Because to me, that feels
that's just like the real meaning of what Republicans used to be. They're nothing about what they used to be.
Exactly. Because
Donald Trump has flipped that on its head.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like progressives, what they're supposed to stand for.
Not the party of Lincoln.
Okay, but if we want to get real about history, Republicans used to be the party of abolition and free against slavery. Yeah, Democrats started things like the Ku Klux Klan. So we want to speak truth about. I'm not here advocating for Republicans. Don't kid yourself.
Oh no.
So I'm saying things evolve and change.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because that's Abraham Lincoln's party. You're right.
Yeah, but progressives are equally as complicit and with this problem as well.
Right.
They are.
Right. Well, I think I mentioned that to you last night, man. That is one thing that Dr. King and Mr. Malcolm X,
Brother Malcolm,
they both agreed on that. Actually, Malcolm, he referred to him as Foxy White Liberal. What the analogy that he used. Right. You did put that. The analogy that he used was that, and you alluded to it earlier, which was with the wolf and a wolf and a fox. They both have the same appetite, but for the sheep. But the wolf, when the sheep see the wolves coming, they already know to get out of here. But the fox actually becomes the friend of the sheep.
You know when I feel that way?
That's Malcolm X.
You know when I feel that way, brother? When I have some local ministers in here that talk about, God's blessings and love. Boy, they are talking about you like a dog. Jeez. And there's some of them that you and I are friends with, or are associate with, or know of. I feel that. That's when I feel that way.
I used to work for. Well, hey, good to have you here, man, bro. I'm definitely gonna have you back. I got a couple ideas I want to share with you off the air, man. I definitely want to talk to you about. But hey, man, again, thanks for coming by, bro.
Thank you, sir.
I'd love to have you again sometime.
Thank you.
Yo, don't go nowhere, man. Keep it locked right here, man. Mr. Armando Grundy-Gomes has blessed us, man. And we're definitely gonna upload this interview up on a social media outlet, so y'all definitely check us out online, man. We'll run it back to you as much as you want to hear it. And yo, man, don't go nowhere. We'll get right back into some brand new music. Keep it locked right here, WBT 90.1 FM Beat. It's your boy Jerk Jerkins right here on the Jerk Jerkins Show, y'all. Boom. We done, big dog.